Baseball Betsy here. I just want to take a moment and say how much this really means to me, both as a fan and a resident of Dunedin. I found my house in Dunedin when I got lost going to a spring training game with the Blue Jays and the Phillies. If you've watched my blog, you know I'm a big Phillies fan. I grew up not far from Philadelphia, going to Phillies games. So I went to go to a Phillies game in Dunedin because it was supposed to be so close. And we got lost and parked somewhere downtown, walked through downtown Dunedin, down to the stadium, and just fell in love with it. We just kept saying, whenever we move, we're moving here because this place is so amazing. And that's how we came to Dunedin as our permanent residents. I've been on the Dunedin Stadium Committee now since, I think, 2013, so it's been about 6 years, 2014, maybe 5-6 years. And the number of meetings I've been to, and city council meetings, and public input meetings, just so that we could get to this day. It was so amazing to see those shovels go in the ground and know that the Jays are going to be here at least another 25 years. When I got to the stadium, it had been a few days since I'd driven past, and I was surprised by all the construction fences and was really excited that they had expected such a crowd that they had the police there to direct traffic, and we had to park across the street at the senior center.
So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let me hear it. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Vince Gizzi, and I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Dunedin. And on behalf of the city and the Toronto Blue Jays, it is my pleasure to host today's ceremonial groundbreaking event. I say this a lot, and I always mean it. Today is another great day in the City of Dunedin.
Yeah.
Because today we break ground on the biggest construction project ever in our city. Today we break ground to renovate, redevelop, and expand the spring training facilities for the Toronto Blue Jays here at the stadium and at the Player Development Complex. When complete, this project will be over $81 million in one of the smallest cities to host spring training. Dunedin is the only spring training site the Toronto Blue Jays have ever known, and Dunedin is where they'll be for the next 25 years. Ken Carson's with us this morning, former Blue Jay director and current director of the Florida State League. Ken? Just a little history about the project. This project began back in 2013 when County Commissioner Dave Eggers was Dunedin Mayor. And resolution was read at the April 4th, 2013 City Commission meeting. So that was 6 years ago, confirming the city's commitment to keeping the Toronto Blue Jays spring training in the city of Dunedin. On November 2nd, 2017, a license agreement was signed between the City of Dunedin and the Toronto Blue Jays to keep the team training in Dunedin for the next 25 years. Before I introduce the mayor, I would just like to thank our financial partners, some of who are here today. Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners, $41.7 million.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners. State of Florida, $13.7 million. And unfortunately, they were unable to attend today because they're in legislation session in Tallahassee. So they did send regrets. The Toronto Blue Jays, $20 million. City of Dunedin, $5.6 million. Thank you all. This project would have never happened without your financial support. Thank you all so much.
So, Vince gave you the nuts and bolts of everything. What he didn't talk to you about is the emotional roller coaster that you go through with 7 years of negotiations. I mean, it's just a really long process. Something I certainly had never been through in my life before. Hope I never have to go through it again. But I say that because I don't ever want to see the Blue Jays leave our city. It's something that many other teams in Major League Baseball do not do, and that was the importance of having our kids on the fields. Many spring training teams do not allow this, but our high school team, who by the way is, you know, spectacular, one of the best, went to states last year. They are really, really a good team. They play all their home games in this stadium. No other high school team gets to do that, but all those visiting high school teams that come to our city, you know, from Pinellas Park or Largo or Clearwater or wherever, they also get to play.
Well, I'll keep it brief. One, because Julia's already thanked everybody, and two, I've been waiting over 10 years to get a shovel in the ground here. First, I want to thank Vince for putting on today's event and all the things that he's done through the entire process. Him and his entire staff been extremely valuable through this entire step. On behalf of the organization, Mark Shapiro, Andrew Miller, Matt Schubert, and our local team that's here, this is a big day. We're extremely excited, not only for the stadium but also for our complex on Solon Avenue. To get started, to get the shovels in the ground. You know, it's I got here 10.5 years ago, and it's fitting that Dave has introduced me, because I remember about 10 years ago us sitting together and, you know, talking about some of the challenges and talking about the stadium and some other things, and to see 10 years later where we're at today, it's pretty crazy and pretty impressive. As we're looking at some of the drawings, you know, I'm excited on behalf of some of our staff that's been here a long time, that has hoped for this day, has hoped to see the changes, has hoped to turn this into a, you know, world-class facility. You know, guys like Pat Scunda or Brian Cox or Billy Warlow that's over there, Kathy, who's been here longer than I have. People like them that have been around, that want to see this and want to be proud of the facility. And we think that through all the drawings and the entire process that we've been through, that we're going to get there, or that we are there. We have recently transformed Dunedin from primarily just a spring training home and a facility to a 365-day U.S. base of operations for the organization. The new training facilities will give us the tools we need to make the Blue Jays a championship organization again. From the fan standpoint, we're making improvements to Dunedin Stadium that will drastically enhance the fan experience, including additional and different seating options and greater amenities, including a boardwalk that we've badly needed for all these years, an indoor bar area, an outdoor bar area overlooking the field, different access points to see the game, such as where the right fielder would be on field level. We have some additional much needed restroom areas that I know everybody has talked about, additional concession options. We'll have a video board. And yet, with all of that, we've made a conscious effort to make sure that we kept the charm of the ballpark, which we will, and every seat will still be a good seat like it currently is. As Commissioner Seal mentioned, the exterior will be having a nice facelift. Where we're currently at, we'll have a beautiful facelift, and we're really looking forward to 2020 opening day. I know I am. So for this, I'm going to bring out my helmet, pass it over to Vince, and let's go shoveling.
Also recognize our Stadium Advisory Committee. Steve Sandbergen is here. Steve, and the committee is here. Just raise your hand. David, all the support we've received from them over the years. Thank you for everything that you've done.
Here we go. There's the shovels and hard hats.